This is your sign to start a new hobby, and God knows that I've tried them all. I have tried resin, sewing, canvas, painting, bead embroidery, and obviously custom sneakers. I have even made custom phone cases. Let's see what I try next. Hi guys, welcome back to another bead embroidery video. I know that I already made a beaded bikini. That turned out cute, but it was under the water theme. I have never done any fruits. I don't think so. I'm trying to think, but I decided to embroidery this bikini top. We're going to be doing an avocado and a simple cherry, just using beads that I already have instead of me having to buy more, because honestly don't quite know if I'm going to stick to this little hobby or not. So this nice simple bikini top I got from Amazon. It was probably like $6. All of the beads are going to be from Amazon as well, and I think the green beads that I used for the avocado, they're probably from Michael's or Joann's. I can't really figure that one out. But all of these beads right here from Amazon. I've already traced out my image on a embroidery paper because I cannot draw. So I found the image on Pinterest and then I just trace it onto the paper. Then we're going to pin it down. We're going to pin one of them down. And then we're going to get our embroidery hoop to secure it in place so that we can start sewing everything on. I'm just using normal needle and thread. Like I said, I don't know if this is a hobby that I'm going to stick to or not. So I don't want to buy an embroidery needle. So just my normal needle and thread. So voila, I'm using the smallest embroidery hoop that I got, and this was the second smallest. It's working out great. And this one, the avocado, I pinned this one on. Pinning on is not quite work well. I feel like it would take way too much longer, but if you have the embroidery hoop, you're gonna be quick, finish with this in like 2 seconds. So always get the embroidery hoop. This is how I look in the sun, just getting the final look, and everything looking great. Everything that I'm going to be using in this video, I will leave for everything a link down in the description box down below. So I am starting to prep all of my colors. So I'm getting out the beads that I'm going to be using, the colors. So that's what I got right there. And everything look like it's going to turn out great. Unfortunately, these are the only beads that I have in that specific color. So once it's run out, it's run out. There's nothing else I can do about it. But look at this circle bead. Oh my god, it just turned out so beautiful. It looks so gorgeous. Like, it just looks so perfect. A perfect little circle. So that's good. I'm just admiring it. It just looks so good. So in the embroidery hoop that I was using before was way too small. You can see where it imprints, so it was not going to be enough for me to do the avocado. So I started doing the outline with just pinning it up, but honestly the thread started to get knot up. The thread started to get onto the strap. So I got a bigger embroidery hoop. I did not even know that a bigger embroidery hoop would work perfectly fine, even though as long as the fabric is sticking in one place, it's not moving around, it's not scrunching, it's very easy for you to sew on it. So that's what I'm doing right here with these long beads. These beads are so pretty. So gorgeous. This took me a minute. I'm getting so slow with these. Unfortunately, these videos are gonna have to be sped up, especially when I'm sewing. It might look like it just take like a few seconds, but it's actually not. It took like a good little minute. So I always sped up these videos, trying to make sure you guys could see what I'm doing, but it's not quite working out great. And I try to do this during the day. I feel like if you're very dedicated, you can just finish this in like one day. I started with the blue thread and then I found some black thread. The black thread just blend in there perfectly. That's what I should have been using in the first place, but I didn't know what I had in black. And I got something to eat, but I wanted to finish the outline before I eat anything, so still sewing down everything. The thread getting tangled, making sure that the thread go all the way down with these long beads. Otherwise, it's just going to be sitting on top and that is pointless. You need to sew these down properly. So that's why I love to do the outline first. Do the outline just to get with it. And I actually add one too many beads on here. So unfortunately, it worked out perfectly fine because I just flipped the bead up and then just sew it down. You're gonna see what I mean in a second. I'm just getting a little something to eat. I got some ribs, rice and peas, mac and cheese, and some mixed vegetables. I don't think I started this on Sunday because I usually only eat rice and peas on Sundays. So Jamaican of me. Hello. I'm gonna show you guys the bead that is sticking out. Right up top, it just made like a little triangle. You can't really see it, so it worked out perfectly fine. So now it's time to start adding on there these other beads. These are just normal circle beads. I just place these beads onto the needle and thread, and then you just split the thread in half once you finish with the amount of bead that you want, and then you just start sewing down in between every other bead or every bead. Is just all up to you. And that's it. Unfortunately, you can see that this bead comes in this little tiny bag, so unfortunately I did not have enough. I was only able to do like two rows. That's what I call them. So I had to go find some other stuff. So I found these. I know that I got some of these from Joann's. These are definitely from Joann's, I'm thinking. These ones that I end up using, they're probably from Amazon. Not too sure, but I thought those would work great. So that's what I'd end up going with. And then I found those. Let me show you a second. I'm not checking to see if it's gonna look good. So this is the amount of bead that I have left. So this was only able to finish one more row. Then I had to substitute the beads. And I was thinking about these big beads, but it would not work out. And these are some black threads that I found. And I was thinking about some sequins as well. So I was just trying to see all of my options. I finished 3 rows and they look pretty good. Now, since I think this was supposed to be like a necklace. I don't know why about it. But I needed the beads. I was just going to take off the beads and then just thread it onto my needle and thread just like what I was doing with other beads. But with these one, you can see the black thread very visible. So what I end up doing was just leave them onto the string and then just sewing it down. You see the string right here? I just sew down the beads. Just go around and around in a circle. And then just finish it off at the end. Cut off the rest of the beads and then just sew it down properly. And I think it works out great. It's not coming off. It's not shaking off. I think the real test is going to be when I have to wash off the embroidery paper to see when it's dry what's going to be happening. So this is in the morning. I finish it at night, well, and a little bit into the morning. But this is how the avocado looks. I don't know if I like it, but it's going to have to do because this was a lot of work. I love the different beads and the different textures. That's what I personally like to use. You can see the blue thread and the black thread that I was using. The black makes it look so much neater and so much cleaner. So now it's time for the cherry. The cherry, I feel like if I could probably do this in like a day. I'm feeling very confident about it. Din, din, din. And see the giant hoop that I found. So I'm going to do the stem with this little tiny hoop. And then the hoop that is on, the embroidery hoop that is on the avocado, I'm going to switch it over to the cherry. So that it's going to work out great. Voila, I finished this cherry. So now I just have to work on the leaf. Obviously, the leaf, the embroidery hoop is way too small. So I need to get a bigger embroidery hoop so that I can embroidery the leaf. And then I'm going to need to get another bigger embroidery hoop so I can do the cherry at the bottom. It's a lot, but you guys are going to see how everything works out. Alrighty, so now it's time for this cherry. I already did the stem and I did the leaf and it turned out gorgeous. Obviously, because of the size of the embroidery hoop, I'm gonna need to get a bigger one. You can't have the embroidery hoop on top of what you already bead. It's gonna loosen up the bead. It's gonna cut the thread. It's just gonna mess it up. So I need a bigger embroidery hoop. And this is all that I have left of the green. So probably gonna use that to make something a little smaller. I don't quite know what to use it to make it, but you can see where I added 2 different embroidery hoops. They have now left a little mark, a little stem on there. So now it's time for the bottom, which are the cherries. I'm going to go in with 3 different type of red. Obviously, what I'm going to be using is a red. It's from this little red bag right here. These ones, obviously, if you're going to be doing a smaller size, this could probably finish one side of the cherry, but since we're doing two big ones, it's not going to be enough, and it did run out, and I figured that it was going to run out, so I had to get a different red. Oops. But before we do any of that, it's time now to eat. We have some brown stew chicken and some curry rice with some mixed vegetables. Finish this quick and easy. And I finished one side already, and this is the other side. I ran out of the red, so now this is a different type of red that we're going to be using. It looks like if it's the same color red on camera, but as soon as this hit the sunlight, a different lighting, you can see that it's just a little bit off, but it's not really that obvious. This is how it turned out. It turned out absolutely gorgeous. The cherry, I already knew that the cherry was going to be my favorite, and I do love the avocado. The only thing that I do regret is that I didn't have the proper size embroidery hoop, so that's why the cherry doesn't look as great as the avocado seed. The embroidery hoop wasn't tight enough for me to make a full circle around, so there was loose fabric, so that's why it wasn't able to sew down properly. I couldn't tighten the embroidery hoop tight enough. It wasn't working. I tried different sizes. It just wasn't working. At least I was able to embroider with the hoop, because honestly that made my life so much easier, and that made it so much quick and fast, no problem. This is how it looks. It looks like if it's a little bit see-through from up close and personal. So I remove everything, and now we're just going to be washing off the embroidery paper with some water. And after we do that, just make sure to double check to make sure that all of the embroidery paper is gone, because once this is dry, you're going to see like it's stained a little bit. It's going to look like if something white ran on there. So just make sure to let it sit in the water for like a few minutes. And once that is done, just let it sit outside in the sun, because what else can you do? You can't throw it in the washing machine. Not the washing machine. You can't throw it in the dryer or anything like that. So the only other solution is to let it air dry. So let it air dry outside for a few hours. I didn't really spread out this part so you guys can see like how much water you really need. One more thing, I noticed that when I was washing this off, this is my problem with this bead. As soon as the water was hitting it, the long bead started losing the color and it started turning clear. The water was washing off the beads. So if you can draw and you're going to be using any of these beads, it's going to work perfectly fine as long as you're not letting it sit in some water. But as soon as the water hit this, I just saw the colors just start disappearing and just started to turn white. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? Why is this happening? But you live and you learn throughout your mistakes. It still looks gorgeous, but you can clearly see that it's losing the color, unfortunately. This is how it turned out. Probably can't try it on. Probably going to get some type of violation, but it turned out absolutely gorgeous. It looks stunning. It took like an hour, 2 hours top. Mind you, I live in Ohio, so when it gets hot, it gets hot. So it didn't quite take that long for it to be dried. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the way how this turned out. I can't wait to wear this probably this year when I go on vacation. Who knows where. I always decide stuff at the last minute, but this just looks so gorgeous, so beautiful. Love it. Look how gorgeous it looks. I need to iron the thing at the back so that it doesn't come unravel. It wouldn't come unravel, but just to make sure to fully secure it. I need to figure out the name of that. Okay, so it's called an iron-on patch. Right now I don't have any, but you just cut a piece of the patch out, you iron it on so that you secure everything, so that everything just stays in place. I'll insert a little picture for you guys just in case if you want to know how you're able to finish up your work, because this is honestly not the last step, but it just looks so gorgeous, so pretty. I keep on checking on it and it's completely dry. Mind you, these are beads, so when I have it sitting out in the sun, it does get a little bit hot, but it looks so gorgeous. The cherry turned out perfectly. You can't quite see it that visible, that is two different type of reds, but it just looks so good. Okay, so since you're finished embroidering everything and everything turned out great, this is the type of backing that you would need. So you just cut off a piece of it, iron it on, and then you're good to go. You will be fully secured. Usually use any one of these or any name brand. I just always buy the cheapest one. Alright, one last look at my work of art. Look at how gorgeous, gorgeous she is. She's gonna look so gorgeous. Oh, and imagine this with a swimsuit bottom and a swimsuit shorts. This is just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, let me show you guys the first top that I ever made because I took it out. I want to see these side to side. Voila, this is how both of the swimsuit top, obviously different shape, but they both look absolutely gorgeous. Obviously now I have a new favorite, but they look amazing and I'm absolutely in love. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, these look so pretty. So excited. I can basically like make my own wardrobe at this point. Love it.